What happens during a DCPP investigation?
During a DCPP investigation, the agency investigator is going to gather a lot of information. Their first concern is going to be the safety and well-being of your child. So they have to physically see your child, and depending on what is alleged, they have to examine your child to make sure that your child doesn't have any marks that would indicate that your child has been physically abused. There are also times where they are going to seek access to your home, and they are required in seeking access to your home to look for certain things. Oftentimes, people will tell us it's very invasive and very upsetting when the agency investigators show up and start rummaging through their cabinets and looking into their bathrooms as to whether or not the toilets flush or whether or not the lights are on. But this is a part of what they refer to as a safety and risk assessment. They're looking to see whether or not there are basic necessities in the home for the child and whether or not the child is at risk as a result of lacking these things. The fact that you may or may not lack these things, however, does not mean you've committed child abuse or neglect. It just means it's one of those things that the agency has to look at. Also, the agency is going to want to speak to third parties that have relevant information about the allegations. So if you are alleged to have done something to your child, not only do they want to speak to your child, but they want to speak to anyone who has information about that. The person who called in, who is known as the reporter, people perhaps at school, perhaps medical providers. But all of this is to gather information as to whether or not there is truly a nature of concern here, or if someone placed a concerned call that may or may not have resulted in a finding of child abuse or neglect, but it was simply a person being concerned.